This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by Hamzah Sheeraz here at his open workout in London. Hamzah, firstly, how are you doing? How are you adjusting back to life here in the UK?
Yeah, no, it's good, man. I've been back just over a week now, acclimatised, jet lag's all gone, ready to go.
Hamzah, what are the benefits of you travelling out to the US now? Obviously, you've done it a few times, you're accustomed to it. Why do you feel like it's such a benefit to yourself?
Do you know what it is? It's just being away, being isolated. I was watching an interview the other day, not long ago, of Marvin Hagler. And what he goes, when he used to put himself in camp, it used to be like he was putting himself in sort of a prison environment. Obviously not as extreme, but isolated, away from friends, away from family. And that's kind of the mentality I've adopted over the years, to be away from all of that, be away from all the distractions, and it's been working.
One thing I'm interested to know as well is, obviously, I know you can't speak on others' behalves, but we've seen quite a few British fighters take that route, go and train over in the States over the last few years. Obviously, Anthony Joshua Boatsi, Azeez, Callum Smith, amongst others. Why, for you, do you think we're starting to see a few more fighters take that route?
You know, I think it comes to a point, especially here in the UK, is where they kind of look back on the older fighters, on the Ricky Hattons, on the Amir Khans, who done exactly that. So that's one of the reasons I done it, because of Taz. I would, to be fair, I would have been happy training in the UK, but then Taz kind of opened my eyes, and he obviously done it with Amir back in the day, and he showed me, go, listen, if you want to be serious about the sport, just go out there and sample it, and then the work rate, everything else was different. But at the same time, that's not discrediting any coaches over here in the UK. You've got amazing coaches over here, and it all comes down to personal preference. But for me, the USA works.
One thing in particular, when I ask other fighters that question, is they mention the sparring, how much easier it is to get high-level sparring. That's what I was going to say. Who in particular has kind of stood out for you that you've been able to bring in?
It's more the South Americans. Like, you wouldn't even know the names if I told you, but they're tough. Do you know what I mean? They come to fight, and if they had a platform, they'd be world champions. It's kind of that level of fighters, and they turn up every day. They're hungry, and yeah, they give you good work. And when I say good work, it's like 50-50 work. It's not like you dominate them or they dominate you. It's 50-50 work, and at the same time, you get some fighters where you learn a lot more about yourself than you would being in a ring with anyone else. So it's good, man, and I'm blessed for sure.
Obviously, we're doing this prior to your workout. Your man in the opposite corner on Saturday isn't turning up today, Liam Williams. Sometimes when that type of thing happens, the fighter can say that they're avoiding them, they don't want to be here. Do you read anything into him not turning up today?
No, not at all. Not at all. Listen, he's more experienced than me. He's been here, he's seen it, he's done it, he's had the world title fight, so I can't really disrespect him like that. Do you know what I mean? If it was someone who was the same level as me, then I'd think exactly that. In terms of experience, I'd think exactly that. But no, I can't really look into it too much. I'll just do my thing.
See, when this fight was originally announced last year, there was a lot of excitement around it. There still is ahead of next weekend. But on the back of the fight being postponed, is there that sense of frustration which is built now? You really want to share the ring with him now and test yourself against the next level up in opposition? Yeah,
for sure. It gets to that point, like especially last camp was coming to the end of it and the injury happened, and it was all like, here we go again. I've got to put in another 10 weeks, 8 weeks of hard graft, because it ain't easy at the end of the day. But the good thing is I've got age on my side, and you know what it is, I'm a firm believer in God, and I believe everything happens for a reason.
For some reason, Hamzah, as I've kind of followed your career, every time you've stepped up, it's almost like people are waiting to see you fall a little short.
Sure, yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know to be honest with you, but I've learnt to cherish it. I remember when it first happened, I can't remember what fight it was. I was a bit like, what the hell, man? I thought people liked me and whatnot, but it's cool. It is what it is. Listen, at the end of the day, it's part of the sport. It's part of the sport, and I suppose it kind of makes people tune in. It's almost a Floyd Mayweather-esque to it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's that level, of course, and inshallah God, when I do get to that level one day, but I've kind of learnt to cherish it, and it just makes your victories a lot more sweeter.
Obviously, so far on every occasion, you've risen to the occasion, you've had your hand raised. With that in mind, when you look at the test of Liam Williams, what are you hoping that he brings out to you? What do you have to show to overcome somebody who has fought at world level previously?
Whatever. Listen, we've prepared. We've had a great camp, alhamdulillah, amazing camp. And whatever, to be fair, listen, inside game, long game, gets me on my toes, whatever the weather, we've prepared. And I suppose when it comes to this level in the sport, you kind of have to rise to the occasion, like you just said, and you have to kind of cover all aspects, all bases, and get the W.
We saw Chris Eubank Jr. kind of produce quite not just a comfortable but a dominant display against him, dropped him on numerous occasions. Put yourself into the equation on Saturday night. Is that something you want to try and better? Because if you were to do that, that would be a big statement sending out to the rest of the division.
Yeah, no, for sure, and that's exactly what I intend to do. But I can't dwell on that performance too much because me and Chris are two different fighters, and you know, some days are bad days at the office and whatnot, and it happens in this sport. But we're prepared for the best Liam Williams for sure, and I know you hear that all the time when you hear fighters say it, but we've actually prepared for the best version of him.
You know, with Liam, he loves to march forwards, he loves to try and be aggressive. Talk to me about that perspective. How much does that excite you, having somebody like that who is just going to come in there to win? He will come in to effectively try and take your head off.
Yeah, no, for sure, and so be it. I'll be doing the same thing, and I suppose it's all about who lands first in that case, isn't it?
Who do you feel there's more pressure on?
I don't know, to be fair. I can't really talk for him because I don't know him like that. But for me, there's always pressure. Do you know what I mean? Listen, I'm spending money in camps. I've got people investing in me. I've got dreams to make reality. It'd be an insult to my team if I didn't win. To be fair, it'd be an insult, and that's how I've always looked at it. Listen, people are sacrificing their time for me. Their time, their money. Listen, even people who buy tickets, their hard-earned money to come watch me. So it wouldn't be fair if I didn't grab the W. And inshallah, listen, I've done everything in my capable power to do so. So now it's all about me going in there on fight night and making it happen.
Fighting so early into February as well, Hamzah, it can line up a huge year for yourself. Have you thought about how you'd like your ideal 2024 to play out?
Not really. I just like to focus one fight at a time, and especially when it gets this close to the fight, don't talk about no other fights, no potential fights. That's completely is like eradicated from my mind, and it's all about the man in front of me. So February 10th first stop, and then after that after I get the W, we can see what the options are.
I'm going to prod and probe a little bit, mate. But beyond, say, Liam Williams, you win a good domestic name on your record. Do you think you might still have any interest in other domestic names, or is it then looking towards trying to get a world title shot?
I've always said it before, at the end of the day, I've got a promoter for a reason. I don't mean that in a boring way, and I'm not trying to... I've never been someone who calls people out. I'm known to be calm, respectful, and just crack on and do my business. Listen, I've got Frank Warren there, I've got Andy Allen there, for specific reasons, in my manager, my promoter, and ever since day one I've been doing what they're saying, and I've been doing, and it's been proven right. So all I've got to do is do what they're saying, and that's it, and keep winning.
So you have to ask as well, there's a lot of talk last year about you and Denzel Bentley having potential cross paths. He had that defeat to Nathan Heaney, which has somewhat seemed to put on the back burner fight between the two of you. Is there any disappointment? Has that maybe been a bit of like something to learn from, shall we say, that if you're going to have those types of fights, get them done earlier rather than wait for it to build up?
Yeah, no, for sure. But listen, I'm sure he'll be back. He's one of them fighters who's done it before, so it's nothing new to him. Do you know what I mean? So he'll be back, and maybe one day that'll be in the works again.
I'm going to ask, how much does, say, a big fight against, say, a Chris Eubank Jr. who's looking for a next opponent, maybe a Liam Smith, how much do those types of fights whet your appetite?
Of course, if they didn't, I'd be a fool. I'd be a fool to say they didn't, but like I said, February 10th is the first stop now, and I've just got all my focus on that.
A couple of fights I want to get your thoughts on away from yourself. This weekend, Buatsi Azeez, another big domestic fight. Your thought?
It's a hard one to pick, because I've always watched both fighters. They're both entertaining fighters. If I had to pick someone, I'd pick a Buatsi split decision victory on points, but it could go either way.
Fury Usyk undisputed out in Saudi Arabia as well.
Great fight once again. I love both guys. I think they're great guys. But I've always said, to beat someone like Usyk, you need to do what he does, but do it better. And who better than Tyson Fury? If he does it better, he's better. He's bigger. And they always say the bigger man beats the smaller man on a good day.
Is that what you're all going into next Saturday thinking about as well?
That's it, exactly that. But yeah, man, let's see how it goes. I'm buzzing.
Joshua Ngannou as well, back out in Saudi.
I've got Joshua wiping him out within 6 rounds. I think styles make fights in boxing. I don't think Fury's style gave Ngannou... It was too simple for him. I know that sounds like a very silly thing to say, but it was too simple for him. Whereas Joshua would just go in there, throw 1-2s and just get the business done and get him out there.
On that undercard, a very good fight, Joe Joyce and Zhang.
Yeah. Not Joe Joyce, it's
Joseph Parker. Joe Joyce fought him. Mate, there's so many fights coming up. But yeah, it's Joseph Parker, and Zhang.
That's a great fight. And Not until I saw Zhang fight live twice against Joyce. I didn't really think much of him, because I watched him on TV a few times, and then when you see him in real life, the geezer is a beast. And he's got skill, he's fast, but you can't write off Parker, man, especially after the Wilder performance. So to me, that's a dead 50-50 fight.
Final one. Tszyu and Thurman was announced. Your thoughts on it? 154.
I've got Tszyu, younger, fresher, just more hungry. The level he's at now is new to him, so he'll be buzzing any opportunity he gets, especially a name like Thurman to get on his resume. And I believe he stops him within the distance.
I think I'm interested to end on, before I let you go off, Hamzah. Obviously, Tszyu's Australian, gone over there trying to conquer the American market now. You mentioned kind of how Amir Khan had done that in his early days, went out to train in America. You followed that type of path. Is that something you want to try and break, that American market? Is it something you're thinking about with your career?
No, I'd love to, and I slowly am. Not that I fought out there, but just training out there through Ricky's contacts and through everyone he knows and whatnot. You just slowly start to build up a name, and it's all through his social media and whatnot. So that's one way I'm not. It's not got the biggest impact, but it's working. But hopefully one day I'll get the opportunity to fight out there, and I'm sure I have a lot of people coming to support me.
Hamzah, listen, I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man today, so thank you for speaking to me. Good luck next week.
Thank you very much.